Hello everybody. Hey, you got something that runs on a 1S, 2S, 3S, 4S battery? Did you know that you can power that from a 6S battery? You can. Stick around, I'll show you how. Not only can you use this 6S battery to charge almost any battery you have, 1 through 6S, you can do it from practically anywhere. This uses an XT60 on the input and the output. What I've done is I made a jumper for an EC5 to go to this battery. This is the battery I ran in the Typhon. When I plug this in, you'll probably hear the fan. I'm using a plate, and you don't have to use this particular plate. You don't have to use a plate at all. You can use whatever came with your charger. But what I like about this is this happens to be the only one I have that's got an XT60 on it, and I didn't have to make something else up. So that made me happy. When you plug this in, that's a 2S battery. You come up with 3.72 volts. You got your total voltage and your voltage per cell. Now I'll plug in a 3S battery, and you have your total voltage and your voltage per cell. One other thing I want to show you real quick, if you scroll up, this shows the input voltage from your primary battery, and then that's the voltage on this battery, and then that's your voltage per cell. Now I'm going to unplug all of this stuff because I want to go through some of the options, and it'll be a lot easier if I'm not dangling all of these batteries and charge plates. So what you've got here under tasks, you have your charge, discharge, and storage charge. And on each one of these you have your options. And the preferred option or the recommended option has a thumbs up next to it. But these are your voltage cutoffs per cell. So you can cut it off as low as 4.15, and if you like to don't care about the life of your battery, you can do it at 4.25. And I won't say that because everybody's got their own opinion, but that's the recommended is 4.2. Then you've got the charge current that you want to charge at, and it will go up to 14 amps. It'll go down to 100 milliamps. So you can charge little bitty batteries and you can charge great big batteries. You've got a whole list of types of batteries that you can charge. And then it'll do obviously 1 through 6S. There's your current settings. There's the top end. And there's the bottom end. A couple of other options you have with this. I made this particular cable up, but you could make one instead of an EC5. You could put a cigarette lighter or an auxiliary port for your car, and then you could recharge this battery out in the field, or any of your other batteries. If you didn't want to use this, you wouldn't be obligated to, but this makes it extremely portable. So if you wanted to recharge this one out in the field, you can either put a cigarette or auxiliary plug on here, or a couple of alligator clips, and just clip it right onto the battery of your car, and it'll charge this thing right back up in fairly short order. One other thing I should probably mention is whether you're going to charge or discharge a battery, this has to have input power going to it. Now, this thing needs to be put on a storage charge. So what I'm going to do, I personally prefer to discharge or storage charge. I like to keep that down at a fairly low current. I usually do half or so of what the battery is rated for. That's just, again, personal preference. So I'm going to select 1 amp. I've got the cell voltage at 3.8 for my storage charge, and hit the start button, and away she goes. And I think the fan runs pretty much constantly while you're discharging to keep the load cooled off. Shows what the current is that's being pulled out of it right now, and it shows how much capacity is going to be bled off. And I know that's very loud, so I'm going to kind of get away from it. So if you know anybody that needs a mobile charging solution, I think this is a pretty good way to go. So share this video with them, and I'll catch you guys down the road. Appreciate everybody.